brothers and sisters, generals, those who ride along with the brother, EBXCARES and Lord Lamont, and thank those that commented on the father and son discussion and the song Lord Lamont uploaded, and it's wonderful. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, when we are inspired and we feel that God, that divine download, go with it. If you feel something that you just can't explain, we talking about a righteous feeling to the pit of our soul that makes us feel creative, makes us feel inspired. Hey, hold on to that, because cultivate it and go deeper and study, with that divine thing we feel deep within, where it comes from, and go even deeper, and enthusiasm can be our greatest asset. It's a wonderful thing to have. Enthusiasm, overcoming, and sustain. Being able to sustain things. Excuse me for fumbling that, but being able to sustain things when we finally get to a stable place in our mind where we're able to control behaviors and emotions. And I know we hear that a lot from a lot of us teachers, but it's just wonderful. We're able to get to that space. Enthusiasm can be our greatest asset. If I didn't say that already, it's a wonderful thing. And if we use it, not lose it, but if we use it in a right way, and manifest those great things, those great part of us. Everybody has a divine ability and or quality. And man, once we tap into it, whatever we have to go through to get through the human flesh. The human flesh is a mother hubber, as we all know. But we have to be enthusiastic, to motivate us to do things to better oneself, mind, body, and soul. See, hear, and feel. It's wonderful, That's why I like having discussions with my son, Lord Lamont, and, just get things out of us, What comes up, comes out. But, but it's coming from a place of wanting to know, seeking knowledge, wanting to grow and broaden our thinking, our mind. And, it's just wonderful to explore oneself. Of course, it's good to travel and go to other cities and stuff like that. But, it's wonderful when we appreciate our voice and speaking and the advice we give. And, we hear down the road. Sometimes it might be soon, sometimes it might be later. But I always talk about that righteous ripple effect, that small righteous pebble in the pond. Just keep putting it out there, and you just speak it into existence, and we just move about our day and keep doing right, and boom, right out of nowhere, that blessing or that blessing will come from that great divine. We all have experienced moments we can't explain, just sometimes maybe helped us in a situation, or we sidestep something that woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome I like to speak on, just a little reflection, never hurts, those moments that we listen to that inner divine voice. I know it sounds all cosmic sometimes, but when we experience those moments, we're like, wow, I'm glad I didn't do this, or I'm glad I was thinking or on my toes. Man, just be thankful of those moments that got us to the space that we are in. So that's what you see on my banner here. And we keep building. EOS. I'm just using those 3 letters. The benefits of being enthusiastic. We'll go with that. We'll say that's the topic, because I just was feeling this in one spirit and was feeling good about my son Lord Lamont and my son Ethan. I spent some time with him volunteering at his school a couple of days ago. He called yesterday, and I was supposed to go see him. I got to go see him today because, I got to go see him. He wanted to spend time with his dad. But, we just been creating and making with my son, Lord Lamont. And, again, he uploaded a song yesterday called Fine. And I just did one today called Lead Me, Lead You. And, we just, it's good. It's like self-therapy when we're able to do music and speak and, and my son and I, as many others do, on their platform and stuff. Salute, content creators that just talk and, reach inside ourselves and, and agree to disagree and see what each other's perspectives on. I love doing that, and it takes time for some of us. Like I said, being self-aware and being able to not be judgmental and appreciate each other's views. It can take time for some of us to get to a space like that, because, we all come, most of us especially melanated brothers and sisters. But I would say most of us, 90% of us, come up through Christian, the Christian belief system and stuff like that. And we all have our different views, but we all reaching for that same goal. Like I said, every part of a righteous tree matters, just different branches. Man, we can just get that in our soul and focus on the main goal, which I always say is the core: children, family. And I always say this for me too. I'm not one to say do this and do that. I just suggest, teach, give advice. I say that probably every other podcast, and self therapy, if we're able to have it. It's a wonderful thing. We all talk to ourselves. Just make sure we're listening to that divine voice within that guides us in the right direction. We read, research, and listen to others that maybe know a little more than we do. Get out of that space thinking we know everything. Hey, I had to learn that too. And I always say when we communicating with our youth, we learn just as much from them as they learn from us. It's wonderful. And get to the core of the issue of a behavior. I'm talking about younger children because I volunteer. I'm learning that, and don't just solely focus on the behavior. Focus on where the behavior is coming from and get to the base of it. And that's where the teaching begins. Again, it could be, I'm talking young, young brother, young sister, or young male or young female. You break through that wall, because we all have been under some. I always like to use that, what I've learned from listening to Malcolm X, what I have studied from Malcolm X. Everyone in the whole wide world, but especially melanated brothers and sisters, have been under what? Some type of conditioning. Just different types, different parts of the world, different situations, different ways of being raised, different religions, and all that stuff. A lot of teachers speak on, we all have come through some type of way of living and being taught, so yeah, we just got to know that, so, and that's what develops an empath, when you have been through the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and when you have finally come out of that, brother or sister or family have come out of that woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome, man, please get out of that. Always look for a solution the best way we can. And don't ever look at what's before us or who got more, none of that. A lot of us speak on this. We got to stay grounded. Sustain, EOS, enthusiasm, a righteous enthusiasm, and overcoming and sustaining. That's a part of what I wanted to speak on here. But again, I didn't even know what the topic I wanted to speak on. I felt it in my spirit, and I felt compelled to share, some encouragement and think about ways to motivate ourselves righteously, to do the right thing, I'm telling you, even in the most challenging times, that's when we develop that empowerment, when we make it through something we think we can't. Because a lot of times it's all in our mind. It's wonderful to get to that space, but we have to go through the measures and study and read and and pay attention. And as I heard some of the greatest teachers of our times, we have 2 ears for a reason. Sometimes we have to listen more than we speak. And as I always say, folks, that's for me too. All right, I wanted to read a little summary about enthusiasm and how it can make you feel good. And even when things, the sways of the world and the celebrity thing and the politics and things in our personal lives, what, like my son and I talked about in the father and son discussion, Lord Lamont, salute. We talked about being still, and that's the times. Sometimes in our lives, depending on who we are, what situation we're in, or where we are, and what part of the world, being still can be a pivotal point in our lives. Because it's when we take a hold of things and don't let ourselves get out of control and learn from what we see in social media and or media. We have fun with it. We're not always deep. We're not always serious, but just don't let it overwhelm us. That's why they call it the web. I learned that from some great brothers. That's why they call it the web. Don't get caught up in it. Do what we do, have fun with it, but learn at the same time. And, keep ourselves, as all us great like-minded teachers say, balance. Man, we can get ourselves balanced, man. Takes work for some of us, but when we get there, we practice on things and learn things and teach ourselves to sustain that peace that we have fought so very hard to get to, brother, sister, family, someone that's just trying to live a right life. I always say we We be the righteous brother and sister we can be, male or female, and the deep spiritual enlightened things will come. All right, I want to read a little summary as I like to do, because reading is good, keeps the mind sharp. All right, I want to read about just some of the benefits and how it's good to be enthusiastic about things. And like me volunteering, don't look at it as a job, look at it as helping someone, and you're carrying on that torch. And what things will like when you volunteer for the youth, just think about things that they will remember when they get older. That's something I think about sometimes. OGs that have helped me when I was young. It's like, man, I'm telling you, that's why I say that righteous in the present, brothers and sisters, is very, very important. All right, well, I want to read this summary about the importance of enthusiasm. All right, motivation, enthusiasm can keep you motivated and help us achieve our goals. It can also help us continue working hard, and even when things are difficult, man, because that's when we know who we are, brother or sister, family, male or female. When we that made it through something that we thought was impossible. Because if we take a moment and be still, as my son Lord Lamont and I talked about, take a moment sometimes. You be surprised, because again, sometimes in our mind we can build up things to be more worse than what they really are. That's why it's good to be still and kind of analyze things if we're able to. If we need help, get help. But if it's something serious, don't just oh, that's just nothing. No, deal with it. I've learned that, and especially if it's serious. If it's if we're dealing with an emotion or something on a job or family, or if we with a significant other or children, if it's something we know, because we all have a little voice. We know that intuition to kick in. I always try to say the first instinct is usually the correct. Most of the time, we all get that little gut feeling. Go with that. That's how we kind of develop that intuition, and we kind of start anticipating things and being a brother and sister, family member of prevention. That's something I always say. Be a brother and sister of prevention the best way we can. But in order to do this, being still, I hate to keep saying that, but that's when we can see things. Kind of like the movie The Matrix, slow everything down. We have that power. We have to know this. Things aren't, only things that are impossible is we say it's impossible. It's whatever we speak into existence. Just gotta, as the Christians say, it's some things we can learn from all of us. We go a little deeper than faith, but we'll say what the Christians say. Sometimes you just gotta have that faith, but it's gotta be more powerful than that. It's gotta be deeper than faith. But again, just gotta have faith in things, but stand firm. Don't be naive, and keep working toward whatever goal we're trying to work towards. As long as what? We're not hurting ourselves or hurting no one else. We'll be all right. As my son said in the song, we'll be fine. Real talk. All right, so I want to read this other summary about, man, the benefits of being enthusiastic. All right, enthusiasm increases our motivation to be more passionate, more positive, and thus cheerful. Like I was saying to my son, we was having that discussion yesterday, which was the topic of that was, let me see if I can remember what the topic of that was. Oh, being still, duh. had a brain freeze. Being still, that's what we talked about. I told him in that sometimes when we just feel happy in that moment, hold on to that, because in the mix of all this, some of this chaos swirling around us, it can be challenging to grab some happiness somewhere. So if we have a gift we love or a craft we like, man, and to make us feel good, again, it can't be hurting nobody now, because it'd be all for nothing. So if it's small, big, it don't matter. And you can have a gift with being good with kids, or you have a gift of keeping a family together, and that works too. Like I say, start with ourselves, children, family, righteous ripple effect, worked our way out. Enthusiasm can go a long way, as well as respect, and having some empathic abilities and understanding, all those good things, man. Just a righteous ripple effect is wonderful, but it takes work sometimes to get to a good state of awareness. You got to stay at it. Enthusiasm, overcoming, and sustaining. That's what the EOS means on my banner here in this machine. That's why I got this on my banner. And we just keep building. We never stop. We keep building, keep going. We enjoy the journey. Don't forget that. We enjoy the journey because there is no destination. We know when the destination is. We don't focus on that. We should know. If we're aware, we know what the destination is, right? Some of us make it there gracefully. Unfortunately, some of us make it to that destination, in a toxic way, in a wrong way. So that's what we try to prevent. Again, open up our eyes. Look out onto the world, to the media and or social media. A lot of lessons out there. You just got to put your eyes on the right thing. All right, I want to get to this third summary about enthusiasm. The greatest benefit of enthusiasm is that it is infectious. And so, when we are enthusiastic, we also inspire others. It's wonderful. It's because, as my son and I talked about, words are powerful. And it's wonderful when they're used in the right way, not to manipulate or trying to sound smooth or intelligent. Just be ourselves. Even some of us cuss and might be a little ghetto, but it's all about the heart, folks, right? It's all about the heart, because we can't hide what's deep inside anyway. We talked about that too with, celebs, entertainers, artists, politicians. I don't care how powerful we are or how good we can speak. I'm just speaking hypothetic. Me and my son, we try to run in the right circles. When we in the right circles, as we said, we'll know who the Neils are. So if you got evil, toxic shit within, it's just a matter of time. It's gonna come back around. But I ain't gonna get too deep into that, because we talking about being positive right now. All right, I'm gonna read that again. The greatest benefit of enthusiasm is that it is infectious, and so when we are enthusiastic, we also inspire others. It's wonderful, especially when you see the results, and that could be children, family, significant other. And therefore, it will motivate others to do a righteous task, and have the right priorities in life, And again, I've been through it, the ups and downs and learning and the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and that's what developed a righteous, teacher and a brother or sister, male or female, family. So that was some things that was in one soul. I was just, feeling fired up. I was feeling enthusiastic. Like I say, we feel those happy downloads in oneself. I think we should flow with it. Don't think about who's listening and, don't worry, just flow with it. And some of our greatest like-minded reachers and teachers, if you want to know how a lot of them got to where they are, where they're stable, mind, body, and soul, because they practice, they observe, they learn, they grow, and they never stop growing. I think that's what makes a leader and a teacher, when we never stop growing. We're always looking ways to get better, because, the great divine has so much in this universe, Mama Nature, so much out there that we can grasp. That's why it's stupid to hate and be envy. It's so much, it's a 1,000 trillion and billion gifts for male, female, man, woman, brother or sister, or family. It's enough for everybody. It's just all about being in tune with oneself, as my son and I, Lord Lamont, and I talked about. When we be still, that enthusiasm and great things will just come to us, but we got to put in some work for it, though. Again, not about sitting on our ass and not do nothing, because, I know we sound like a broken record, and we hear many of us say this. What we put out is what the heck we gonna get back. That's more than just a saying or sounding smooth. No, that's reality. So, but it takes a little challenge. It's a little challenging. It's different strokes for different folks. It always comes back to how we are as an individual. Because no being or no force knows us better than that great divine, Mother Nature, and that universe. Remember, folks, that great divine has known us since birth. So, if we do have a grasp on life, and like I said, if we need help, get help, and if we're able to have self-therapy, be thankful, go deeper, go deeper into our empowerment. And again, we become a leader and we teach others to be leaders themselves. So that was something that was in one spirit. And again, this was about the benefits of being enthusiastic righteously. I got to throw that on there because, a criminal can be enthusiastic, unfortunately, but we talking about a righteous enthusiasm. So that's why I put that in the title. You probably hear me say that a lot, because a lot of times that's to remind myself, because I don't never want to come off like I'm this perfect brother, and my son Lord Lamont. We don't never want to come off like that. We just speak our perspectives and try our best to encourage others, because he has his speakers. He listen to people too and read books, and he might hear some advice from me. I might hear some from him. We always kind of pitch ideas to each other. It's wonderful to be able to do that, and get away from the and the envy and comparing, and get away from that shit. That's a trap. Do what we can with what we have. That's actually some advice I got from my son, Lord Lamont. Real talk. And keep building and get to a space. Again, there's no destination. We enjoy the journey. But if it's a certain goal or something we're trying to get without hurting no one though, or ourselves, we work at it. And hey, two brains is better than one if they're connecting and vibing. So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. Current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, and my son Lord Lamont will have more music, and look for music from my cousin L'Oreal Lyrical. May she rest in peace and in power. As I told you, I'll always bring her up. One love to my family and others' family. And do our best. To do our part. We're not perfect, but hey, we can send out positive energy to our families, brothers and sisters, whether far and near. Just put it out there. Stop thinking things are impossible. And empower oneself spiritually. And call down great protection on those in our lives, and those who are homeless, and those who aren't living a great life. And think about them when we in our meditative moments and we praying. Don't just think about ourselves. We think about our families and others outside our families. That's how we'll get that righteous ripple effect will come back all day, every day. So thanks those for coming in, like I said. And one love to my family, Lord Lamont, my children, my godchildren, my biological children. And I just wanted to share, the wonderful, wonderful benefits of being enthusiastic and overcoming and sustaining in this life. So brother and sister, family, children, mothers and fathers all over the world, my generals, may we please keep that ultimate peace in our or your part of the world, wherever we are right now. Salute.
Tony Fat on the beat.